At the fucking police. Oh my God!
Alright, here we go with another one. This one might be a little bit controversial. I sure hope it doesn't come off that way. I hope I can convey what I'm trying to say clearly without pissing anybody off. But, I mean, if this gets around far enough, I'm sure somebody will get mad, but it's coming from a good place. It's mostly just about self-awareness, perception of other people's perspectives. Around my early to mid-20s, I kind of had this, I would call an awakening, so to speak, where I kind of realized that the world wasn't through my perspective. Basically, I kind of started looking at stuff other people do and other people say from their perspective, trying to see it how they see it, and also trying to put my own actions into that perspective as well. And it served me pretty good so far. You know, so the clip that's coming up is a speech of Michelle Obama. And when I heard it, I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I've got to say something about this because I see this all over the place. And it kind of saddens me. And it's part of the reason the country is torn apart right now. We can't see other people's point of view. We need to start doing that. Seriously, like, we'll realize quickly that we have a lot more in common than we think. But here we go. I'm going to run the clip and then we'll come back.
We grew up in the period, as I write, called white flight. Yeah. That is families like ours, upstanding families like ours, who were doing everything we were supposed to do and better.
Okay, now right off the jump, when you generally hear people speaking in a serious manner, and they say, well, we were better, we were doing things better. Off top, that's already narcissistic, which is not ever a good thing. I mean, sure, love yourself, but not like that much. To say you're doing better than somebody else is subjective. There's no way to really know if you really are doing better. You don't know what the other people are doing. And this is where the first real problem comes in.
And I always stop there when I talk about this out in the world because, I want to remind white folks that y'all were running from us, and you're still running because we're no different than the immigrant families that are moving in, the families in Pilsen, the families that are coming from other places to try to do better. And so, yeah, I feel a sense of injustice. As we moved in, white folks moved out because they were afraid of what our families represented.
She said when they were growing up, they were doing the thing they were supposed to be doing. Talking about white people moving out because they were afraid. Well, how do you know that? How do you know they were afraid? How do you know that's the reason they were moving? You don't. You're assuming that. And that assumption comes from arrogance. And I'm sorry to say that, but it does. Because there's no way, especially as a kid, to know that those people are scared of you, and that's why they're moving out. Just want to remind people what it takes to sell a house and move out, buy another house to move into. That's a lot of work. That's a whole lot of work for not a lot of payoff. But I will say, I've lived in the South my whole life, and it's just something I learned from a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, that was born and raised in Philadelphia. Something that shocked me, he told me, when he was in Philadelphia, he experienced racism all the time. He's almost on a daily basis. But he said when he moved down here, it was hardly anywhere. He said nobody really, acted in any kind of racist way toward him at all, which threw me off because you would have figured the South would be a lot more racist. From his point of view, it wasn't. He said Philadelphia was way more racist. He said the North in general, in his experience, was way more racist than any place that he's been down here. And like I said, that kind of opened my eyes, made me kind of realize that the world ain't the South. and that racism is still going on. You don't really see it too much down here. But I guess that's quite fortunate. But it's really unfortunate that it exists at all. Part of seeing other people's perspectives can help that to eliminate it. A lot of people these days are talking about trying to end racism through racism. That's not going to work. Or to try to end racism by grouping people together by their race, skin color, whatever. That's not going to work either. When you start putting different people in groups, it never works out. We, as humans, we need to put all the petty stuff aside. Skin color doesn't matter at all. We're all Americans. We all bleed the same color. To me, that's what matters. And I just wish that other people would see that too. Because there's so much hate that could be eliminated just from that. So everybody that watches this, if you could, and if you believe in ending all this hatred that's going on right now, try to spread this message. You don't have to share my video, but try to open your own eyes up and look at yourself through other people. And the main thing, be honest with yourself. That's the best thing you can do. Because when you're not honest with yourself, how the hell are you going to be honest with others?